This is Bob Cox reporting for Talk of the Sound TV. In the wake of news first reported on Talk of the Sound, the New Rochelle's Mayor Noam Bramson has asked area lawmakers to pass legislation in Albany that would clear the way to tear down the Armory building to make way for a planned real estate development. Talk of the Sound caught up with leaders of New Rochelle's veteran community for comment.
What's your reaction to the news of this legislative action on the Armory?
Well, we're actually shocked to hear just today, Sunday, that there's a special piece of legislation that affects the Armory, and we know nothing about it. All we know is that the mayor actually sent a letter to the Assembly, I guess George Latimer, and they initiated a piece of legislation that they hope will become a home rule approval from the council that affects this building. We have no idea what it's about, and we've been talking to the manager, the mayor, and the council people in trying to abide by what we call common courtesy and acting in good faith to try to do something good for the veterans and for the people of New Rochelle. And here they are trying to do something in the back of the building without us even understanding what's happening.
Okay. For the average resident who doesn't necessarily understand how the legislative process works for something like this, can you explain what home rule means and how that all works?
Well, basically, before they will pass legislation that will effectuate a major change in how they can dispose of property, or they can raise a building, or change the designation of parkland, or so on, there has to be a majority of the city council, and that's what we would call a home rule message that would go to Albany. So Albany's drafting something, we have no idea what it is, comes back to the council. If they like what they see, they in turn vote on it. If there's 4 of the 7 council members that say yes, then Albany can act on it. And that's basically what's happening now. But nobody seems to know what it's about, why we need this legislation, what it does, and we're all very, very upset about it.
Well, how does the process that's taken place so far compare to what typically happens?
Well, you would expect that the mayor would at least talk to the council at large, and it shouldn't be secretive, especially if we're all talking to veterans and to the College of Monroe and so on, where everybody is acting in good faith, trying to understand what's in the best interest of the city. There shouldn't be a letter that goes in the last 2 days of the session, and nobody knows anything about it, and then all of a sudden it's going to be passed, and we're going to find out about it after the fact.
Have you had a chance to talk to any of the veterans? I mean, you represent them.
Yeah, a few I've talked to.
And what's been their reaction so far?
The reaction is we're very disappointed that something like this would happen very quickly without any consensus from the veterans community or the citizens or through the city council. It started through the mayor into Albany and back. It's supposed to come back to the city council. We have no idea what it is, and this is not the way the system works. The system works the opposite way, with the people of the city through their council sending something through the mayor to Albany. We're very disappointed, and we've had a good relationship on this project with the mayor and the city council, and we are virtually wounded.
Can you, comment on what you've been doing with Save Our Armory in terms of working with Monroe College and looking for some alternative outcome for the Armory?
Sure can. The Save the Armory committee that meets on a monthly basis has been very involved with communicating with the city of New Rochelle and trying to make a partnership agreement between Forest City, Monroe College, the veterans in New Rochelle, and the city of New Rochelle. We thought we were on a good pathway to make a good foundation for a strong, healthy relationship, and we trusted them. We've got some funding that was coming our way. We're just about to make a presentation. We have footprints and blueprints that have been drawn up. We have estimates on redoing the building, and everything has been coming along extremely well up till now. And I just spoke to the city manager not even 2 weeks ago. And the last word that we left off is we're just waiting for Forest City to get back in touch with us, and we're going to move forward with our agenda. My personal feeling is that this all came about from a personal agenda of the mayor, And I think that I don't care what happens in the past with Forest City, he wants to move forward to taking this beautiful building down. And we don't know why. We want it to be a community center. We want to give back to the citizens of New Rochelle something that they deserve, and New Rochelle can surely use a shot in the arm.
Well, there's been some discussion with the developer of Echo Bay, Forest City Ratner, and it was out there in the public that they had actually acknowledged that they could proceed with their development without the Armory as part of it, that in fact they were looking, because of the economy, to scale down their plans. So how does this move to do something about the Armory fit within what the developer has said about what their plans are?
Well, again, we were waiting on confirmation for the developer to come back to us to give us a thumbs up, but they thought that they might downsize the project from 26 acres down to 6 and either work around or exclude the Armory altogether. And that's why we, the Armory Committee and veterans of New Rochelle, were hopeful that this was going to be a good avenue for everybody. With Monroe College again getting into the picture, it's a huge help for us financially, and a great cause for them to be involved in the community. And obviously, they get something out of it, a home court advantage that they don't have right now.
Okay. And then picking up on the question I asked the commander already, which is what would your message be to the state representatives who have been involved in bringing this legislation forward in Albany?
Just please, just give it consideration and do what you are voted in for to do, is to do what's good for the people of New Rochelle, not just a particular person or a particular group of people, but the city as a whole. And the people of New Rochelle, they love this building, they love the Armory, they want the Armory. It is ours, and you can't take it from us.
Parenti later told Talk of the Sound that the Save Our Armory Committee will hold an emergency meeting tomorrow night at 7 o'clock at the American Legion Hall on North Avenue. The public is welcome. There will be a press conference immediately afterwards. This is Robert Cox for Talk of the Sound.